Hey guys, welcome to Project Metal Music's YouTube channel with your host El Young, and we are here with the brilliant Carol from Element of Fate. Welcome.
Hi. Good to be here with you all.
Mark, thank you for being. Thank you for joining us. So, Carol, could you introduce yourself and what you do within Element of Fate?
Yeah, so my name is Carol. I also go by Madam Kroll. And I'm the singer in Element of Fate. We're just a small, getting started, little tiny baby metal band. And currently only have two members, but we're striving to make the best music that we can. And I'm a singer slash songwriter. I do mostly lyrics, melodies. Sometimes I'll come up with song ideas, present like a chord chart or um, that sort of thing to my bandmate. And then he's the musical wizard who is able to put it all together and make it sound epic and amazing. I got to give him all the credit for that.
Cool, cool, cool. So, we've got Jesse from all the way from Australia saying hey. And we've got Lisaboo all the way from Canada saying hey. Hello.
Right.
So let's dive into some questions. As a kid, what were you listening to?
Oh man. Well, I started music young as a kid, and I actually, I've done music since I could walk, I guess. So I've listened to all kinds of music, but I think the earliest music that I remember listening to was classical music. And that's kind of what I started out with. I would go to like the library, like when I was really little, like when I was old enough to go to the library, I'd go get the records and listen to the classical albums. But even before that, I remember like turning on public broadcasting and like just automatically wanting to listen to symphonies or operas or that kind of thing. So I was really geared towards that. But I came from a really musical home, so uh, we always had music in the house. My father was a musician. My mom always sang to me, and so from the time I was really young, I was exposed to, you know, old just old classic songs. My mom would sing like old stuff from like the 1920s or 30s or like those old-timey songs. And her dad was a musician too. So the love for music in my family goes way, way, way back, like many generations, and it's just always been a big part of my life and a big part of, like, I guess who I am, When you grow up with it, you just sort of learn music as a language.
Yeah, yeah. To me and to quite a few other people, turn around and say, yeah, music is sort of like the universal language for a lot of people.
It really is, and, it's so good for your brain too. But, yeah, so I was exposed to a lot of things, and I've listened to all genres, throughout my whole life, and I love all genres of music. We do heavy metal, but, and I love heavy metal, it's probably my favorite music genre, I think, because it's so diverse in so many ways, and there's so many technical aspects to it, or it's kinda like classical music in that way because it can get very technical, but without the box, there's more freedoms to be creatively expressive. So, yeah, I mean, I have a huge appreciation for all sorts of music, like, it's been a big influence in my life, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's here the classical music was sort of like the rock and roll music of this day. Because
Yeah,
you got Amadeus, you got Beethoven, you got like all these big names.
yep,
It's just like so. It's like plus it's rock and roll and sort of like classical music has got that sort of like the they do sort of like share a lot of common ground in a lot of ways. Like
yeah,
you
for
said with technical sides, especially with the technical side of things.
yeah, and I don't think casual listeners maybe realize that, how much rock and metal does have in common with classical music, but it really does. Like I said, the people who the metal musicians out there, I mean, they're so technical, a lot of them, and the skill, the bar is set so high, and what you are achieving to do, there's so many physical leaps that you're trying to achieve, especially in metal. It's kind of like playing a uh, intense sport or something, you know, especially as a vocalist or a guitarist, I think,
Yeah,
but all musicians, I mean, you have to have a lot of skills to be able to play music in that genre,
yeah,
um, you know, so.
yeah. Yeah. So, you did sort of like mention your parents being a big influence on getting you into listening to music. Was there anybody else in your life?
Well,
Who-
yeah, mostly it was my parents. I mean, my parents and my grandparents too. My dad was an old 60s rock and roll musician. He played with like back in the day in the Haight Ashbury, he played with like Janis Joplin and all those guys in the 60s, So he was always playing his like rock and roll in the house when I was growing up and stuff. And I was exposed to a lot of 1960s um, rock and roll music growing up, of course. And so it that was a huge influence. And then when I got older, my it was because of my grandparents actually who, I started getting interested in like singing and stuff like that. I would just sing. I would always sing around the house. Like I said, I've sung since I was very, very small. Like since I could talk, I was probably singing before I could, before I could actually speak words. My mom thought, it would be a good idea, I guess, for me to get voice lessons. And my grandparents were actually the ones that made that possible because we didn't have a lot of money and stuff. So, they were the ones that encouraged me and got me started taking classical voice lessons when I got a little bit older, which really got me more into the music scene. Of course, I was already involved in things in school, like band and stuff like that, playing music. And my dad had taught me a little bit of keyboard and stuff like that, but I had never had like formal piano lessons or anything either. So it was really because of my grandparents, like being able to pay for that and enable me to have that education that um, I was able to kind of grow and gain confidence as a singer, you know. So I have them to thank for that as well, I guess.
Cool, cool, cool. So, out of all the music that you've sort of like listened to over the years, who was your sort of like main influence to say, I want to do this, I want to get on stage, I want to perform?
Oh man, I think as a young kid, as a little kid, I of course loved all the pop, big pop musicians and stuff. Michael Jackson and all those people as like a little kid. But then as I got older and got into rock and metal, and I got into like bands like Queensryche was a huge gateway for me into metal. Listening to like Jeff Tate, he's amazing. He was one of those vocalists that just like grabbed me, and I was like, man, these guys are awesome. And then later, getting on into other bands, and like Dio and a lot of the 80s metal bands. 'Cause I really love like older 80s, 90s metal in general. I like that old school sound, although I like a lot of modern metal now too. But those were some great singers. And then later, like Nightwish is a huge one for me too. When I discovered Nightwish and I saw these people blending classical with rock and metal, and um, that was like and I discovered Tarja and all those singers in that genre of symphonic metal. It was really eye opening for me because I was a classical vocalist, and I was like, hey, maybe I could do something like this. So those were also main other big influences. And of course, Iron Maiden. You gotta love Iron Maiden. I could name so many bands that in the metal genre that were just huge influences. Another one that both me and my bandmate like a lot is Fate's Warning. They're less known, but they were a big one that we both love. Part of the reason why I think we have Fate in the band name is because of that, because we both are Fate's Warning fans. But yeah, just the technical and just the technical skill of all these musicians, and seeing them on stage and what they can do, and the creativity and stuff. I mean, when you see these amazing musicians like that, like somebody like Nightwish in person, it just kind of blows your mind, or they seem larger than life. And that makes you go, wow. And I think for me too, like I had a turning point, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Um, I started listening to, it might have been longer than that now, Battle Beast, though, actually. And I'm a huge fan of Nora Luhimo, and I've actually, studied with her a little bit. And just seeing her on stage, and when I remember when I discovered that band, it made me think, I need to be out there doing this. I was still singing, but I kind of taken a hiatus from singing, but um, I was like, "This is a kindred spirit here." I was like, "I need to get up on stage and be doing this." So, I'm a huge Battle Beast fan.
Yeah, yeah. Battle Beast is a good band, really good
Yeah, they're
band.
great.
I've been following them for about I would say about 14, 15 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
they're amazing.
Speaking of Nightwish, who's your sort of like favorite era of Nightwish? With
Oh,
it was
man.
Toria, and Anita or Flo.
Oh, man. Well, okay, this is the thing, like, I love early Nightwish. I love their early sound with Tarja, but I've always been a Floor fan. Like I've been a fan of Floor since like her After Forever days, and I love After Forever, and I think they were an amazing, way underrated band. And she should have gotten more clout. So I have to probably would have to go with Floor because and she was another singer that's been an inspiration to me as a female artist, musically. Like I remember, hearing her when I first heard After Forever, and I was like, this is amazing. I want to do something kind of like this or whatever at the time. I was like, this woman. I love how she uses all the colors in her voice, and she can sing anything. And I was like, why is she so underrated? Why doesn't anybody know who she is? And then, after Tarja left, and then Annette left, and then she just popped up in the Nightwish. I was like, yay, because like I was like, finally she's gonna get some of the recognition that she deserves, and the albums that she's put out with them are just amazing.
Yeah,
But I'm not one to get into that whole debate and say any of those ladies are less talented than the other. I think they're all amazing singers and musicians in their own right, and I think they all did each era of Nightwish justice. You know,
yeah,
I'm just a huge Floor fan, and I always have been, so I'm slightly
yeah.
biased.
Yeah, I liked each era, not myself with
Yeah.
Nightwish. For different, each singer brought like something different to the band.
Mhm.
But I'm with you. I'm with you. I've been a huge Flo Johnson fan since 2006. Ever
Yeah.
since when she was in After Forever.
Yeah.
Then when she went to when she brought her own band revamp.
Yeah.
And then
Revamp was a great project too, and you scratch your head and you wonder, I see so many great musicians like this out there, and they just fly under the radar for so long, and you go, "How? Why?" Because what they're producing is amazing, but I'm really happy that she got with Nightwish and is getting the, recognition, that she deserves now because she's just an incredible vocalist and musician
yeah,
overall.
Yeah. Lisaboo says Flo is amazing.
Yeah, she's one of my singing heroes. I mean, hands down, one of my top five female vocalists. She's in there.
Yeah. Yeah, she's up there with Sharon Denadell within Temptation.
Oh yeah, she's great too. Hmm.
Yeah. So, oh, Jesse has said, love your hair, Carol.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and Lisa Boo says each era has great qualities as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So, were you in any bands prior to starting Elements of Theatre?
No, actually, Element of Fate is my first band. I wanted to be in bands for a long time. I can tell you the quick summary of the history if you would like. But
Sure.
basically, I'm an artist for my living. I'm a fantasy artist and illustrator, and I wanted to go into like classical music or opera music, but I didn't really have the network or the financial ability to like go to school and go to college and like study that stuff. So what I did instead is I just, kind of did the free spirit way, and I just, I studied a long time in my youth because my grandparents paid for voice lessons, so I have extensive classical training anyway with like private teachers. But then, like, I kind of I dealt a lot with singing anxiety and stuff, so and I didn't really know where I fit, musically. So then I kinda, like, quit singing for a while, and I just started painting, and I went into art, and I did art for several years, until, like I said, it kinda hit me, and I was like, "Man," I was like, "I need to be up there. I wanna do something musically. This is really important. I miss this," you know? I was really missing, singing and doing music because it is such a big part of me and my life. And, so I didn't really have a chance to be part of any bands or anything like that. And then, COVID, uh, times hit, and, we were all kinda stuck inside, and, an old friend contacted me, and, he's actually a friend of my partner's and an old friend of my partner's, and, he was like, "Hey," he was like, "You wanna make some music together?" And it just sort of did seem like, fate. Um, again, maybe why we have fate in the name, because it just sort of came up out of the blue, and, 'cause I had actually reached out to him too, like, we hadn't talked in quite a long while, and, I had kind of reached out to him because I knew he was doing bands. I was like, "Do you know anybody who needs an illustrator? I'm looking for some work." Um, I wanna do more band art, and he's like, "No," he's like, "But we can start a band, and we can start making some music if you'd like." I was like, "Wow, this is awesome," I really wanna be part of a band, and it just kinda hit at the right time, and since we started making music together, I think things have really clicked. We've only been doing it a couple of years, and I feel like we're really finding our groove, and we're getting ready to release our album. And I'm really like, happy and excited with the music that we're making. Like, I'm really motivated to do it, and I feel like we work really well together with our ideas, and like each thing that we're doing is just getting better and better and better, and we're getting tighter, and you know so that's kind of the nutshell history.
What has the band been up to in the space of the last 12 months? Over the last
um, yeah, we're working on our album. So we have a Kickstarter coming up. I was hoping to launch next month, but it's going to be pushed till probably March of next year. Because I do most of the stuff myself. I do all the art for the band. I do the you know, I'm helping with the vocals. My friend's doing the songwriting and stuff like that, but I'm doing all the promotion and stuff like that, like the social media posts and that sort of thing. So we've been writing music for the album and recording. And then I'm working on the Kickstarter stuff and the rewards and everything that we're going to be doing, because we're making the Kickstarter to launch our album, to fund our album, and also because we really want to make a real produced music video, for reals. The first one I made for Night Winds was made on just like a shoestring budget, and I did all the editing myself and everything. So that's what the Kickstarter is going to be for, to give us something that's going to hopefully give us a foundation to have more credibility, So we've been working really hard on making all the music and everything for the album, and trying to get all that ready the last year or so.
Cool. So, could you tell us a little bit about the new album?
Yeah. So the album, it's going to be our first ever album. We already have a couple of songs released from it that'll be on the album Night Winds, which you can listen to on YouTube. And that's the one I made a video for on like a little shoestring budget. And then Dreamfall, which is the title of the album, is called Dreamfall. And that's the one we want to make a video for. That song is also out. You can listen to it on YouTube and Spotify and all those places. It's kind of been interesting. It didn't really start out as like a conceptual album for me. Like, we've just been writing music, but from me as a lyricist and from a songwriting perspective, it's I've been dealing a lot with burnout and the struggles of a creative artist's life and a creator's life, keeping going, trying to pursue your dreams through all the struggles that we face as creators. And so it's kind of become this journey from darkness into light, kind of like an arc, like a little beacon of hope, kind of thing. And that's kind of really what the song Dreamfall is about, really, is like how you can want something so bad and you have to fight with your inner demons and, all the struggles that are going on inside of you, and believe in yourself just to, in order to make it happen. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. You have to be the one that really believes in your vision and your dream right here, and believes in yourself that you can do it. And I'm also hoping that the types of this inspirational kind of music that I'm writing is going to inspire others, and resonate with others, so that to help them, because I'm a big proponent of people achieving their dreams and going for their dreams in life, and believing in themselves and trying to chase those things. And so I'm hoping people will resonate with that, and it'll kind of light a fire in them, and touch something in them to make them get up and want to go do the thing, so to speak. So that's kind of what it's what it's evolved into, is this kind of emotional, like, story arc kind of thing through each song. And I'm really just writing stuff from my heart, so
Cool.
hopefully everybody will enjoy that and it'll resonate with them as well.
Cool. We've got a couple of questions from the chat. Lisaboo has asked, how did you pick the band's name?
Oh, my friend actually picked the band's name, and as I had mentioned earlier, we're both big Fates Warning fans, and so I think he had kind of come up with it because he's such a big Fates Warning fan, so he wanted the name Fate in the thing. But when I heard it, and he was like, "How about Element of Fate?" and I was like, "You know what? I would really like that, because I feel like this is fated. Like, us doing this, like, this could have happened at a better time for me, and it kind of feels like fate." And like the stuff that we're creating. I mean, the way that it's been working and gelling, it's just been going really well, like working really well together. So I just feel like it was one of those things meant to be. It kind of came from that.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for that, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, we've got a question from um, Jessie, and she asks, "What is your favorite song of the band?"
Oh, my favorite song? Oh, oh, that's a tough one that we've written so far. Ooh, hmm. Well, I do really like Dreamfall. I do really like the title track. But I think I really like our newest one that we're working on. It's probably going to be the last one on the album, which is called Whispering Tree. And it's kind of this song. It takes you on that that journey of that hopeful journey. And I think like part of me too that gets me writing about these kind of things, I guess, is a little bit of a Dio influence here too, because like that's one thing I always liked about Ronnie James Dio's music is he's sitting there singing about stardust and dreams, and I'm in the audience going, yeah, you know, let's go, we can do it. And I'm a little bit the same way that way, stardust dreams, fantasy. I want to tell you a story. I look at myself like a storyteller. So,
Cool,
um,
cool, cool. Thank you for that, Jesse.
thank you.
Got another one from Lisaboo, and she asks, "What is your process for writing your songs?"
Well, currently, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but sometimes it really depends on the song. Now, certain songs, like Night Winds, was a song that I had a definite like story arc kind of in my head for. And I came up with the song and the lyrics and presented my bandmate with a chord chart. And then he took what I did, like he has to put up with me sending him strange vocal lines and like weird drum, like I'll like put a bad, I don't know anything much about drums or whatever, but I'll put like a kind of like a random drum beat that I'm like, oh, I like this vibe or whatever. And he's really like the musical wizard behind all the songwriting right now. He's a great musician and songwriter. So he took like what I wanted, in my chord chart and my lyrics and my ideas and my general vibe, and he then, came up with some riffs and passed those ideas back to me, and we kind of went back and forth on it with that one. Um, but a song like Dreamfall, for instance, that one he actually kind of had a riff already, you know, and some bars already laid out, and then he just passed it to me, and I threw some melodies and some vocals on top of that, and I do all my, harmonies or my vocal layering and stuff like that. I take care of all that myself. And I wrote these lyrics for it. Of course, that just came from the heart. So it really depends. It depends on the song. It's just the two of us right now. Like I said, we're just a tiniest little beacon of hope, the tiniest little band. But we're just trying to focus on writing the best music we can. And I think having two cooks in the kitchen writing songs is working really well. If I get a melodic idea, sometimes I'll send him that over too. And we just work together to bring it to life. Or I'll tell him, oh, how about a little more synth or keyboards here? Or, can we do a little flourishy guitar solo thingy over here, kind of like this, and I'll sing it or hum it out. And then he works on it. I end up using my voice as an instrument a lot because I play a little keyboards, but not really well enough to like him. I'm a singer, so
Cool. Thank you for that, Lisa. Um, after you finished sort of like putting the your first album together, would you be sort of like plunging back into doing another sort of like writing session for new material?
probably. Right now, like I said, we're really small, and so we're focused on growing our following online right now because let's be real, touring and playing out and stuff is very expensive. And we'd have to hire other musicians and stuff. And right now we're just pretty too small for that. So we're trying to grow our YouTube channel and our online presence and following. So, I mean, we already have ideas. I think I have several ideas. I know he's been working on stuff too, for another album after this one. And so, I mean, our hope would be that if people enjoy this album and stuff, and there's the support keeps growing, that then that'll fund and help us be able to make another one and keep creating this beautiful art and music. And then who knows where it'll go from there. Baby steps, one little piece of the puzzle at a time, you know.
Cool. So, is there going to be any merchandise?
Yes, there's going to be a lot of merchandise. Like I said, I'm gearing up for the Kickstarter. And being an artist, actually, the painting behind me, I could show you. That's going to be part of the Kickstarter. There's going to be prints of it. And there's going to be, I've already got the album artwork done for the album, the single art that I've been doing for the songs. That's going to be part of the Kickstarter and will be available on various merch and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of different merch and cool items because I have the ability as an artist and a creator to make a lot of these things or get it made myself. So watch if you guys are interested in that, watch the Kickstarter link because most of that stuff's going to come through there. But if you're in desperate need of something right now and somebody wants to support the band, we do have a few like t-shirts and things on the Spotify shop right now. Just like stuff with the logo on it or whatever. And all that goes to supporting the band and the project. And yeah, I mean, I have big plans. Here, why don't I show you this painting here so you guys can see it? 1 second.
Yeah, for those who I have put all the links down in the description.
The Firebird painting that I painted. Cool. Hasn't been varnished yet, but I painted it live on Twitch, and it might be kind of glary, but you can kind of see it. It has 14 karat gold leaf on it. It's an oil on board, and I painted it because we have one of the songs on the album is called Firebird, so you can kind of see. And there's going to be prints of it on the Kickstarter, and this painting will also be part of the Kickstarter, as well as one of the really high tier rewards for, like a super backer kind of thing. So yeah, there's going to be more stuff like this. I've considered doing like a painting for every song or something, but I'm not sure yet. Right now I'm trying to blend my love for the art that I create and the music that I do and figuring out how to blend those two worlds together.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, if you haven't followed Element yet, I'll put all the links down in the description. So please go check them out. And the mods have been putting out the Kickstarter campaign for.
Let me get my earbuds back in so I can hear you.
Yeah, I've just been telling people to go follow with all the social media and the Kickstarter as well.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like I'm an artist by trade, but I love both art and music so much. They're so big parts of my life. So I'm constantly kind of being pulled by both muses. And that's the other part of this band is that I view it as kind of a multimedia project for myself. I'm trying to grow something that's going to be more than just a band per se. Like I really want to do like cool artistic music videos and stuff like that, which is the other reason why we're doing the Kickstarter, because the Kickstarter is going to be for the music video, but also for our album. And it's, I want to do more than just band playing out in the middle of the woods. Like that's fine. That's all fine, well and fine and good and everything. plenty of bands have done that as a successful music video, but I really want to tell a story. And being the creative person that I am with my visuals and stuff, I would like to raise enough funding that I can create something that's visual, like a visual kind of masterpiece that can go with the music. And so the paintings that I'm making are kind of like conceptual pieces for the songs too. And I'm thinking about maybe if I have time between now and the Kickstarter, about like I mentioned the song "Whispering Tree" that we're working on. I'm thinking about doing a Whispering Tree painting for that one as well. But we'll see how much time allows for that because I'm pretty busy.
Cool. You got a couple of comments. Lisaboo says creativity is in your blood. And talking about the painting, she says, "Oh, beautiful."
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It is in my blood. I'm a highly creative person.
Cool. We've got a couple of more questions. Obviously, it's all down to funding. Is there any plans for vinyl in the future, even if it's a limited run?
This is something that I've been weighing heavily on my mind. And again, you might see on the Kickstarter. We're trying to decide right now if we're going to try to when we do the Kickstarter, if we're going to try to push for a limited vinyl run as part of the initial funding, or if we're just if we would like to do, just like as a stretch goal or something. Because vinyl thing about it is pretty expensive to produce, and that will significantly raise the amount of money that we're going to need to raise to get funded on Kickstarter. But if enough people are into it, so please comment on our YouTube, or let me know if that's something that you'd like to see. Because if enough people do seem like they're into it, then I'll probably just do the Kickstarter for the whole package deal, like a limited vinyl run, plus, the album completion, plus the music video. It just really depends how into it the fans are. And it's hard to gauge how many people even really use vinyl anymore. I'm a huge fan of vinyl. I think vinyl's really cool, and I always loved like the big jackets and the artwork on it. And I would love to release a vinyl because the art. It's all about the art and the packaging and just having something physical like that to hold too. I think it's important in this digital world. We kind of live in this digital throwaway world, and it's getting to the point where I feel like we aren't even really owning things anymore, whether it be video games or music or whatever. And I think it's really nice to kind of get back to that physical, like, this is my record, I bought this, I own this thing. But that's just me. I mean, I'm more old school, and I don't know how many people feel that way also. So comment, let me know what you guys think.
Cool. I grew up on vinyl back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s. I grew up on vinyl, so I've got I wouldn't say I've got like a big collection, but I've got a modest vinyl collection. So, and I think there is quite a few people out there who do love vinyl, just for the whole package of just like listening to the actual record itself, the artwork, the lyrics, the everything about it.
Yeah, there's nothing like that, like I mentioned too, like when I was really little, I would go to the library and get vinyl. I had old stuff, and I had like a little kid's record player and stuff. Like that's what I had for a kid as a kid. I didn't, have all the latest, new, greatest stuff. So, I would go to the library and get like a classical record or whatever, and I'd spend hours listening to that. And I had hand-me-down records and stuff, because we had a record collection and stuff, and there was stuff I could listen to. So, I grew up with an appreciation for vinyl too because I was using it even though it was outdated. So,
Mm.
you know, um, and CDs are the other one. Like, are we gonna do a CD? I don't know. I mean, I feel like CDs are less popular than vinyl right now, maybe, but and again, like that adds to the cost. So I don't know, but it is probably more possible that we do a limited vinyl run. But like I said, we'll just have to see how into it people are.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's like you said. It's like it all depends on how many people want it and how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. So yeah, thank you for that, Jesse. So we've got a question from Lisaboo, and she asks, "Is there an artist, musician you would love to collaborate with?"
Oh man, so many. So so many. I think all of them are probably out of my league. But honestly, like Nora, if you're listening, I'm your fangirl. Battle Beast over here. I'm big fan of Battle Beast. I would love to collaborate with them. And maybe since they're smaller, they're not huge Metallica size yet, although they're working on it. There might be a slight possibility someday, who knows? But um, yeah, there's so many great musicians out there and people that I would love to collaborate with. But I realistically, they're all probably out of my league at this point. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just I'm just a little no name musician over here. Um,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you never know. You might actually get a surprise.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, Lisa. Um, we've got another question, which ties into the sort of like the next question I was going to ask, but Jesse beat me to it. Um, Jesse asks, once you have the funds, would you travel abroad?
I would. I would love to. I mean, we're USA band, so and the other thing I don't know that I mentioned, but both me and my bandmate were on opposite sides of the country. So he's in DC and I'm in Portland. And so I'm West Coast, he's East Coast. So first things to, you know, probably be to travel over there and do some more live stuff together. And I've always like I have a huge bucket list of wanting to travel abroad. I've always wanted to go to Europe and over there. It just looks beautiful. And the metal scene is big over there. So if I had the opportunity, I would love to. But again, that takes a lot of funding.
So would you sort of like do a sort of like US tour first, like either whether it be a West Coast or a East Coast tour?
I would love to do that if that was possible. But again, like we got some growing to do before that's going to happen.
True, true, true.
We're just an indie band right now, and that's all that's quite. Again, it's all down to funding, and then you got to hire the other musicians to play, be part of the band, find the right people to join up with the band, and then you got to fund that. Having a band is really having a business. So like I said, it's small right now, but the dream is alive. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you for that, Jesse. Um, yeah, she says thanks. She says thanks so much. It does take a lot of funds.
Yeah, it does. It's
Yeah,
I don't know if people really realize that. A lot of people really realize how much it does cost these artists to come over and tour, and especially if they're coming over from uh like Europe or something like that, to the US or US Europe. And getting visas over here and all the expenses. It's a huge undertaking, and it takes a village. The amount of people that I see traveling around with these groups, it's amazing. But once you get with a label or that type of thing, that's when those doors open. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, Lisaboo also says, especially when you like with their collaboration with somebody with another musician, she says doesn't hurt to dream.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to dream. I'm a big dreamer. It's what the album's about. It's big dreams. Big
So
dreams.
yeah, big dreams, big dreams. Yeah, never give up on your dreams.
Dream big. Dream big or go home.
Yeah, true, true. I was just about to say that.
Mhm.
Where can people find you on social media so they can keep up to date with what's going on?
Well, we are on Instagram at element. What is it? I think it's element.of.fate. I think I put the dots. And then we're on YouTube at Element of Fate. And then I stream, if you want to come hear me singing live, I stream every week on Twitch, twitch.tv/Carol Phillips Art. You can also watch me make paintings and stuff live on stream and be a silly goof. My stream is very goofy, very strange. But that's Twitch. And so if you're into having a laugh and a good time and hanging out, listening to metal music, and that's your jam, and you want to come have me test my metal and sing a song for you, I'd be more than happy to. Once you get me singing, I don't shut up. So uh, that's pretty much where you can find me. And then where all of our music is on Spotify, and we have it on Amazon Music, Apple Music, um, where else? Quobuz or whatever that one is. It's on all the major music places you can find it. And then Bandcamp is the other big one. Bandcamp, Element of Fate at bandcamp.com. You can find us. And if you want to purchase original music from us, directly from us, that's probably the best place to do it, is on Bandcamp right now, because they, take the least amount, and it's the best way to support us.
I don't know how often they do this, but they do like a Bandcamp Friday.
Yeah, they
Uh,
do it a few times a year, like not every month, but like every couple months, I think. And then when the Bandcamp Friday happens, of course, that's the best time to support your favorite artists over there, because they don't take a bunch of fees and stuff. Um,
the wave the feast, don't they, on Bandcamp Friday? Or
I
is
don't
that
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know how that works, so I don't know how that works. I don't know if they will take all of it, sort of like don't take any fees or anything like that. So I'm not completely sure about it.
Yeah, I don't know. They with Bandcamp Friday, I think that they basically uh they I don't think they take a fee on Bandcamp Fridays. I think that's the deal. But otherwise they take like 15%. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's
you're selling your music for $1.
yeah,
It all adds up, right? So
yeah. True, true, true. Um, so, guys in the chat, if you've got any more questions, please ask away. We're going to be starting to wrap things up in about 5-10 minutes or so. Um, so, any advice for people who want to become a musician, whether for their own pleasure or possibly going down sort of like the commercial route?
Well, I'm still learning how to go down the commercial road myself. But I say you just got to start doing it. If you don't start riding the bike, you're never going to learn how to ride the bike, right? And we're all going to fall off the bike as we're riding it. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. That's something that held me back for a long time in both music and art. And just start doing it. You can always put stuff off and be like, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do that." Um, I'm not ready to do that. Well, we're never ready to do that. You gotta jump it. You gotta eventually take the jump into the deep end of the pool and start trying to swim so you can learn how to swim. So that's the biggest thing. And, also I think, things a creative life is hard. It's a real roller coaster. You have high highs and low lows and high highs and low lows. And I think, you know, you need to be sure that you're doing the things doing the art and music because you love to do it and because, it's in here and that's the reason that you want to do it. You have something to say and you have, why are you doing this? Why do you want to do it? And hold that close to you because when times get tough, you have to fall back onto that and remember why it is that you want to do that in the first place so that you can keep going, and that's the hardest part. And don't give up. Keep going. Keep chasing those dreams. That'd be my advice. You got to do all those things first and lessen the expectations too, because it's really hard. It's hard to be a creative person in this world, and uh, so yeah, but you just got to start doing it. Got to start doing it. That's the first step. More than anything.
Sound advice there. Sound advice. Yeah. Lisaboo says, yeah, great advice there. Just do it. Just do it.
Like Nike says.
Yeah. 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 Oh, and Jesse also says, awesome advice as well.
Thanks, Jesse.
So we're going to be starting to wrap things up now. Have you got any final words before we go?
I think I've told you guys everything. I think I've spilled all the beans on here. I don't know. If there's any further questions, I'd be happy to take them. But thanks for having me on. It's been a great chat and a lot of fun. And I hope you get that monetization soon and your channel blows up huge.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. We're 12 subscribers away from 1,000. And
Awesome.
just under 900 hours worth of to get their monetization. So
keep going. You got this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've got brilliant moderators who share stuff out and watch stuff and stuff like that. So yeah. Hopefully by the end of the year, I should be getting monetized, and I hope you get monetized as well.
We're working on it. That's the thing. We've only had our channel up like maybe a year. So, but we got 500 subscribers already. So that's good.
And you got one more because I've just subscribed as well.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks to all of you guys out there who subscribe to our channel and watch our music. It really helps us. Anybody who can share or help spread the word like you guys are doing. We appreciate you guys so much because we can't, little tiny baby band like ours can't do it without you guys. So I appreciate the support so much.
And Lisaboo, new subscriber as well.
Thank you, Lisaboo. Let's go. I love it.
So guys, if you haven't checked out Element of yet, please do. These guys are absolutely amazing. I've been listening to some of their music day to day before we came on, before we went live. Go check them out. These guys are brilliant. So yeah, I'll put all the links out down in the description, and the moderators have been putting the links out as well. So yeah, no excuse.
I appreciate that. I would like to ask you one last question, which is, since you said you've been listening to some of our stuff, what song do you like the best so far?
Oof. It's hard to choose. It's literally hard to choose. It's literally hard to choose.
I had to
It's,
ask. I had to
yeah,
interview the interviewer.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to choose. Really, it's all of it's good. All of it is good.
I
So,
appreciate that.
and Jesse has said new subscriber as well.
Yay! Thank you so much.
So, Carol, yeah, yeah. So, Carol, thank you so much for coming on and doing this little interview. It's been a complete and utter pleasure.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been a
Yeah,
blast.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So, we're going to stop there. We're going to wrap things up there. So, until next time, we'll catch you all later.
Bye, guys.